Deze is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
No one hears you.
I'm Alex Dingman.
There you go. I'm Jeff Dawes. What's up, guys? Alex was on mute.
I know.
Do it one more time, Alex. I can barely hear you.
Welcome
There
to
we
another
go.
episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Like I said, I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Dawes. Let's do this, guys. We have an awesome show for you guys today. And as always, we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. And man, they have coming up August 26th, Battle of the Dojos. 8 of the top dojos in that Northeast area going to battle it out. I can't wait to find out what all they are going to be battling in. If it's going to be all fighting, if it's going to be what age groups, what ranks. So it's going to be a great time. So make sure you guys go to Virtual Fight Tour and check them out. Go to and go ahead and get your tickets now. All right. So that is the next thing coming up. What's up, guys? All right, Andrew, what's up, my friend? Great seeing you this weekend. Edgar Cordova, yes, sir. I can't wait for Korean Challenge. We are going to talk a little bit about that as well. And man, I've been working my butt off, not just as a competitor, but I don't know, I've had like 12 private lessons today. So that I've been teaching a lot of people getting ready for Korean Challenge. It's nuts right now. Okay. So, let's see. And I just got back from the WKC Nationals. So this was a great.
Into that too.
We're definitely going to get into that. We're going to get in a couple big news items that just happened. And then I'm going to talk about one thing that has nothing to do with martial arts. And then we will get into my martial arts weekend that I had, crazy martial arts weekend that I had, and then Korean Challenge. So, all right. First, we talked about Battle of the Dojos, but we have some news as well. One, Shauna Bannon just signed with the UFC. She is a many-time WKC world champion from Ireland. So she just signed. This was announced today. What's up, Doug? What's up, Leandro? What's up, Edgar? So this is a huge thing. Again, another person from Sport Martial Arts. She is undefeated in MMA as a pro and as an amateur. She has won many titles, and from Ireland. So they're adding another Irish fighter to their list, but this one comes from the WKC background. So.
Well, I'm really interested to see because going pro, getting on a big name, fighting conglomerate, and then going to the UFC, those are like this massive steps, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah, we kind of known that she was kicking around, doing some MMA, and we were like, all right, okay, I'm just gonna tell you straight up what I thought was, okay, all right, we'll see. We got good skills. We'll see how it goes. I did not think it was gonna last an incredibly long time, but it seems as if she's devoted herself to that type of training. And all right, that's cool. So, but no, I guess when she went undefeated, I was like, oh, really? I guess. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. And now that she's in the UFC, it's like, all right, I guess I'm in. I gotta hear a little bit more, right? So, and I think the only reason why is like her point fighting style. I thought she was talented. I thought she was skilled. Just didn't blow me out of the water. Right. So that's why I didn't really pay that much attention. It was like if Regina Thompson was in her early 30s and was like, I'm gonna go do MMA, I'd be like, buckle the heck up, you know.
Right.
And I think it's just because of her fighting style. Like, I enjoy Regina's fighting style, you know, it's a little bit more exciting. Now I like Shauna's fighting style. She's a good fighter, right? But I just didn't know how long it was gonna last. Here it is. Seems like she's here to last because it's been a number of years.
Yeah, you didn't think it would translate over into the MMA world. Her style.
I don't want to say that. I was unsure.
Right.
I was
Right.
unsure how long it would last. I was just didn't know. You know what I mean? And I'll just be honest. I definitely didn't see UFC coming.
Right. So she's adapted well to the ground game, to the wrestling game. So great job. Congrats to her. And so we have another one that's from our sport that is in the professional fighting world. So,
and here's,
we got
I
a lot
guess,
of that right now.
here's one of the reasons why I was like, I mean, I don't know, was because she was a decent kicker, right? She was a decent kicker. Stereotypically, they don't go well in the ground game.
Yeah,
They don't, right?
that's true.
So, like, perfect example, like my homie Greg Betlock, we would grapple every now and then. I don't think I beat that guy one time ever, right?
Right.
And he's not a wrestler, right? But look at the different fighting style. The dude is like, he's a little shorter than me, and he's basically just like an anchor, right? Like, that's just what he is. Homeboy was a running back, so whatever he weighed was like in his legs. So now we're on the ground. It's like, all right, this is kind of over, right?
Right.
And totally different fighting style, right? I want to be up long and lean, and he wants to be down and moving. And man, so I never beat that guy one time when we were training, and I thought I was okay. I'm still a novice, but you know, at the time when he and I were training together, yeah, never once did I get him. And I kind of looked at Shauna, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just kind of identified a little bit of what I was like because she was a decent kicker. Man, she made me eat some thoughts. I don't want to say words because I never said anything, but she made me eat some thoughts. All right, so let's see how she does.
Awesome. All right, my next thing is, again, I traveled all weekend. Left Thursday morning, went to Michigan. As soon as I arrived, I literally arrived 5 minutes before my seminar started. Got out, 10-hour drive. Got out of the car, got in, and just started teaching at the PKS school, SA school, in Allen Park. Was an awesome time. Had about 30 people in there. Well, pretty much they had their whole competition team that they booked me for a seminar to just teach
Smart.
for over 2 hours, help them with, because again, this is only their first year really in open sport martial arts tournaments. Okay. They are part of a huge franchise, and they were only allowed to do closed tournaments for years. They were just Tang-Soo-Do based. So now they have gotten the okay to do this. So last year we started seeing them at some events. I think Battle of Atlanta was one of the first ones that I saw them at.
Can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
So they were Tang-Soo-Do based style?
Tang-Soo-Do based. Yeah. They have about 30 schools, I think, in the system.
So, okay. So they're part of an organization, a larger organization.
Right.
And then they kind of, I guess I'm reading between the lines, petition, like, can we do outside tournaments?
Right.
Got the okay. And then immediately bring you in. Wow.
Because what it was once they're at the 4th degree, they weren't really able to compete anymore. Right. And so you have a lot of these guys are like 25 years old, like ready to go. Like, can I do something, that have been, kids all their life. Right. And then they had competition, and that's all they knew. Now, what can I do? Another thing that was funny with this school, one of the guys that is a higher up and one of the leaders there is actually from Lynchburg, and him and I he went to the June Reese school in town, and I went to the freestyle school, and so we grew up competing with each other, and then we went to college together and hung out and were friends, and then went to the Virginia Tech Taekwondo team and joined that for a couple of years. So he lives in Detroit, him and his wife, and their whole family's part of that. So it's just cool how it kind of all went full circle. I've also been teaching a couple of the students there. So just a great school, great people. And yeah, they are just trying to figure out how it all works, and they have some great competitors. They've had some people that have grown just in the past year to where they weren't winning or even placing to now getting the top 4 or, so
That's a
it's
big
cool
deal to do it that way too.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed my time there. And my son went with me, Wesley. So he had a blast, hanging out, doing martial arts with everyone. And again, like in my school, there's not most of the other black belts here are like 16, 17. He's 18. He's able to see there was like most of them were 18 to 26. So it's like seeing people that are into it that are his age or older was pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's not something you always see, right? So especially in our area, it's not. So it's pretty cool. Yes.
Well, when I hear what you're saying, like I'm trying to process it. Like you drove for however many hours, which already makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
Right? You park, you get out, you go right in, put your uniform on, and start teaching karate.
Yeah.
Now I love karate.
That's what I do.
And I would do that all the time. I probably would do the same thing, but man, that does not sound exciting to me.
Yeah, it was a long weekend, a lot of driving, a lot of karate. Yeah, so Richard, their feedback's been kind of the thing of trying to figure out, well, at one tournament it's like this, and at one tournament it's like this. And that was really one of the things they really asked me about, was just how can we be more consistent? Why is it this way? Why is it that way? And some of the things I didn't have answers to, but I try my best to teach them in a way that they'll be able to be flexible and go into different ones. Yeah, Andrew, they went to US Open last year and did mostly single A events. And then this year they're going to do a lot of the double A events. So, all right. As I'm driving there, okay, so I had an awesome seminar. I learned what this thing that's in Michigan, okay, and it drives me nuts.
Okay, I can't wait to hear what it is.
Have you heard of this? The Michigan left? Do you know what this is?
I think I have heard.
You've driven there several times for this tournament. So
yeah, I've heard that it's a real thing. I know that I've experienced it. I'm blanking on what it is.
I was so happy to leave Detroit and Michigan. All right.
Explain to me what the Michigan left is, because I'm
just going to give you a situation. I'm at the hotel. All right. I'm across the street. I have to get to the street across the road, and that is where the karate school is. Well, it's on that road. So I have to get to that road. So I'm here on the side. I have to go around, do a U-turn, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to the next road to my left. Well, yeah, to the left from the hotel. So I have to get around because there wasn't a way to just go. It wasn't a way where I could just go left from the light, right? So I'm thinking, all right, that's no big deal. I didn't realize that it was like that at every freaking light, okay? So
excuse me, what?
Yeah, you can't turn at half of the lights in Michigan, okay? So I get to the side, all the way over to the right. There's a 4-lane road. I get over to the right. Then I realize there's this big block, all right, cube, and it just says no turns. Like, what do you mean no turns? There's a road right here. There's a road right here to my right and my left.
Yeah,
I can't just turn right. No, you got to go all the way up to the next left.
Yeah,
right,
I know what you're talking about.
Get over, and there's a special light for a U-turn. What the heck is this crap? So then,
yeah,
I do that. Then you got to go do that one more time just to get to the road I want to do.
But here's the thing.
Like
I'm actually going to defend Michigan for a moment on this. I'm going to defend.
I'm going to mute your mic if you do that.
Listen, because there's some roads out here where you kind of have to do that too. And the reason why is if they allowed the left to do that at all points, like that intersection would just completely bog down.
Right.
So they need to keep things moving. So they're like, listen, if you want it that bad, go up there, come around, and then get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
it just drove
giving
me
the Alex
nuts.
Cliff Notes version, but that's essentially what it is.
I got used to it, but it drove me nuts. And the problem is that like the GPS didn't understand it either, so it was all confusing, and so it was just like,
That's how
yeah,
you know it's
it was
crazy when GPS doesn't even know what the heck you're doing.
yeah, it was wild. So that was kind of that was kind of that.
GPS is
Right?
like, man, are you driving in a field? Where are you going?
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you trying to make crop circles? What the heck? Yeah, so that was kind of how that started. The next morning, did a couple private lessons, then headed to the tournament. Great hotel, the Westin Marriott, beautiful place. Then the tournament, like Travis said, was a great location. What's funny is that the location is like right next to the police department, so we were pretty good. We had everything there. Okay, it was like the rec center, the police department, and everything all in one area. So as I got there, I was surprised. Huh?
What is Brett saying right now?
Sounds like driving in Jersey, yeah, where you can't take a left. You have to take a.
What's a jug handle?
I don't know. Leander knows because he's from there.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I cut you off. My bad.
He's telling me I need to learn how to drive. Hey, whatever. Anyways, so that's how it was. When I got in there, it was awesome, man. Just so many great competitors. And from what I've seen, and this is my first time going to the WKC Nationals, but from the videos and stuff, this is one of the bigger turnouts I've seen in a while. Okay. And every which way, so I'm doing my divisions. I did all 18 plus divisions. I didn't do any 35 plus divisions this year. And this was the WKC. All right. Sunday. Yeah. We had a great turnout as well for Sunday for Great Lakes. For WKC, again, 10 to 12 in almost all my divisions, my adults divisions. Okay. I've been to some national qualifiers where,
there's three guys.
There's 3-4 guys that showed up. You know what I mean? Just, all right, here, we got our spot. Do we really want to compete? As long as I get in this, I'm good. That kind of thing. Right.
Yeah.
And this was competitive. All right. I love the 2-round format. I love that you do one round, especially for forms, one round on Friday. You figure out where you're at. And then the order that whatever it was Friday, it completely reverses. So if you went first on Friday, you go last on Saturday. All right. So that's cool. And then it's your total score of the 2 days that determines if you made the team and be in the top 4.
It makes for a lot of forms, but I also really like the format as well.
Yeah.
If you think about some of the other sports that we watch on TV that we don't know nothing about, right? Like snowboarding, right?
Yeah.
Like big jump, whatever snow. I don't know. I know I watch it, whenever if it's on, and I'm like, all right, this stuff looks cool. I have no clue what their technical stuff is.
Right.
I just know that they're going to get a bunch of scores and then everybody's going to go, but then they got to do another run. It's not just, all right, you got the scores, you were the winner. All right, we're done. Yeah. Like, no, we got to do it again. And then we'll take your best scores. So you might be the bomb.com first run through, but then when you go again, you fall. But then the next guys, they kill it. And you're like, it makes for a truer champion and better entertainment. Then more drama. But it also makes for a better, it's a better product.
There were so many things. I don't even know if I'll be able to get to all of it. There's many issues and things, but it was a great time. For me, my goal was to try to do, because I signed up for 5 forms each day, pretty much, right? And I was going to try to do 15 different forms. I ended up doing 13, okay? And so because I did OG one day, and it was like the worst OG I've ever done in my life, so I had to redeem myself and do it again the next day. But so that was kind of one of those things. But yeah, so let's see one of the examples. So Friday we do creative weapons, right? And creative weapons in a WKC is a lot different than NASCA. it is where you cannot release the weapon. And that I was like, okay, that's fine. So as long as it stays in my hand, that's okay. But then I kind of found out the way I was reading it was not the case. Actually, you can't do like a finger roll. It cannot come out of your hand, is what
It needs to be in your palm, like my
Yeah.
microphone right now.
You can't even do a palm spin. You can turn it and go like this from hand to hand, but you can't. So that kind of changed a little bit because now I asked, I said, okay, so let's say for a comma, I can do this, meaning I can go through my fingers, but I can't roll it on my finger. Like, yes. I'm like, okay. So
here,
I was planning on doing
I have an
commas.
old mic, so I could go like that and flip it. I'm using microphones like commas.
Yeah,
right?
I was trying to find a comma somewhere around here. Yeah,
And
but I couldn't
you
do
could
that.
you could go like the 90s, but you can't go like the 2010s.
Correct.
Right.
So at that point, I was planning to do commas with that little hint. And again, if you guys don't know, I make my forms up on the spot. So I'm like, if out of natural, I may just throw a finger spin out of there. Let me not do this right now. Let me go get my nunchucks. I said, hold on, I'm going to do nunchucks. They still do old school of like checking the weapon and all that in WKC. So that was a little different.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to be like, hold on, here's the one nunchuck. Let me go find the other. I don't know where the heck it is. So I did that. And the only thing is I couldn't do a wrist roll. So I said, all right, that's fine. I'll just swing them and do my form. So I literally changed my form, changed my weapon, everything like right there. And I think I went first. So, Cornell messing with you knowing something about weapons. Oh, he does weapons.
I'm not bad, man. I know a little bit about a little bit.
So yeah, and so I went, did that. This division is epic. We had like 11 of us, and you have myself, you have Tim Conkle, you have Singal, you have Samuel Brume, you have several other local. You have the guys from Chris Kotsumoto School in California. You got a lot of 10th degree sponsored guys.
Yep.
Like it was a big time event, and with different rules. So I really enjoyed it because we really got to see the weapon, but done in a creative way, right? So it literally figures out that first day. Singal was first, I was second, Tim was third. We were literally 100 apart, all three of us. And then Sam was fourth. Sam Brume was fourth, right? So that's a good legit division. The next day we come out, and I'm like, all right, I have enough mind now to figure out what to do. So I did commas. Now, me switching really only affected me because the judges were not the same. So it wasn't like, oh, they liked that I switched. It was just more of, hey, it kind of affected that. And maybe affected the other competitors. So
which is also a real thing.
Right. Tim was doing flying commas. Singal does his double broadsword. And I go and switch to comma. So this day I went and I get all 9 nines. I defeated everyone on that one. So it was a cool thing how it kind of went from one day to the next day, and you get to see the whole scope of it. I don't know. I thought it was fun, and not just in that division too. I had divisions where I went the opposite, where I started out like second, I ended up fourth. Wow. It was really cool competing with my friend Brett Shumway. Him and I go back from the 90s doing NBL together, and to see him back competing was fun. There were so many great competitors. To me, some of the top standout competitors in the traditional weapons realm was Jacob Bianchi. He's from Richard Everidge School. You had Cameron Kloss was there, and he won both the hard style and the classical, as we know from Team Revolution and from Bill Viola's school.
He's been putting together quite a good performance as of late.
Yes. So he won 2 first. Jacob, I think, won 1 first. Tim and Singal were kind of battling each other in the extreme divisions. So Singal, I think, won 2 or 3. I think Tim won 1. I won 3 divisions. I won the Korean, the creative forms, and the creative weapons. Or sorry, it's not called for creative forms, freestyle forms. But it's just like creative forms. The only difference is you can't do a kip up. Like in NASCAR rules, I think you can do a kip up. You can't do that in there. Because that's considered a gymnastics technique. So yeah, I mean, overall, a lot of fun. What else? I'm trying to think some other things. Hold on, let me see my bearings because I had some other people that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, most of that's on Saturday. But so that was really cool just seeing the forums. And on the female side, there was a lot of great competitors as well, competing from all over. A lot of people from Georgia, and there are people from California, and lots really just having. So I feel like we have a good turnout. It's going to be a good turnout for from the Canadian side and the American side, with a lot of top competitors. So I'm interested to see how it goes for that. When we
You know
get
what it
into,
sounds like?
yeah,
It sounds like the way you're describing it sounds like as soon as you walked in, you took a couple steps in, you looked around, and you knew
okay,
it's gonna be a good day.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to bring my A
It
game.
was like, yeah, exactly. I had to put my big boy pants on. It's like, all right, let's go. It's time to really go.
Which is a
Yeah,
good
music is
feeling.
optional as well.
What's optional? I'm sorry.
Music is optional in freestyle and extreme in most of the divisions.
Oh, that's
Music
cool.
is an option. So yeah.
But you know
Yeah,
what's cool
it's
about
gonna
that?
be
When
cool.
you walk in and you look around and you feel it and you go, okay, I'm gonna have to be my best today. If I feel like I'm gonna make the team, or if I'm gonna be in the number 1 or number 2 spot, like I'm gonna have to be out of my mind today.
Yeah. So like Andrew just said, today or yesterday, people were calling and the rooms were already booked full. So they had to release more
Wait, they
rooms and open
called
up more
today
rooms
for the World Championships. They're like,
in October.
too
Yeah.
bad, so sad.
Yep. So they added more. They added more to the block. So it's
And
going to be huge.
where's the World Championships at?
Orlando this year. So yeah.
Okay.
So here
So
we go.
which is
At the
it at
Wyndham.
the Wyndham?
Yep, at the Wyndham.
Which, you know what, it's not like the worst case scenario because there's a fair amount of hotels with like within a decent walking distance, like
Right.
a
Yeah, I
parking
already
lot
got
over.
mine. I got mine today. So or
Of course you
yesterday.
did.
So
You Jeff Doss.
just in case.
You probably talk to somebody and be like, hey man, hey, he's a friend
Yeah.
of mine. Hook me up. Somebody else
After
did the call
on
for you.
Friday. All right, so after on Friday, I went with Canel and got to see downtown Detroit. All right, and I had some good Greek pizza there. And if you don't know, it was also the Grand Prix was happening, so it was packed. It was a lot of traffic. It was crazy, but it was cool because I hadn't been in Detroit in almost 10 years, which was for his tournament, and it's just changed a lot. It's gotten a lot bigger and nicer. So
Now wait a
just-
minute. You mentioned pizza. Did you have Detroit style pizza?
yes,
Because
Nikki's.
that stuff is amazing.
It is good. It is good. I didn't know what to expect, so I was excited about that.
Detroit style pizza is it has a fair amount of similarities to Chicago style, but it's basically rectangular, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you
Yeah,
tell me your
basically.
experience, man.
No, basically, yeah, it is. It is. I'm not good at describing things. I was telling Shelly about it. I was like, it's like pizza in a box. It's a box, and I was like, what? What's that even mean? I was like,
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
square, like a square. So it was like, yeah, like a square pizza or like a rectangle pizza. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't describe it very well. Okay. But yeah, so it's like all pizza comes in a box, Jeff. What are you talking about? Like, all right. Sorry. Anyways, but yeah, it was great. Had a good time and good hospitality as always by Canel. We didn't get home though till like midnight. So it was an early day the next morning. And
Sounds
getting
like a
ready-
normal national karate
Yeah.
tournament.
But we ended pretty early. It was just that the traffic was so bad, from going from place to place. But yeah, so a lot of fun on that. Saturday, like I was saying, forms was great. Fighting got into it really crazy. And just a couple, if you guys hadn't heard CTE, go and listen. They really broke down a lot. But
Yeah.
I want to mention a couple of people, and we may have some video from some of the fights. I'm going to go into some of the females of the weekend, and I'm talking about Saturday and even Sunday too with Great Lakes. All right, because Great Lakes Pro-Am was an amazing tournament on Sunday. But these are some of the names to me that stood out. Besides the ones that right here, when we have Brianna and Mina, yeah, is her name. So
Word.
Yasmina. And so both of them killed it. This fight is awesome. Go and watch this one. Logan, to me, so we got Logan Goodman, who she killed it in the junior divisions. Her last, I guess not her last year in juniors. I'm not really sure if she moves up or not. But she killed it in the junior divisions. And then on Sunday, the divisions are 16 and up in MSKC. Okay. So she is getting to go against the adults and killed it. You know, won the junior, the women's traditional forms, and you know, beating Amber Rutherford, beating Kaylin Kowalski, beating a lot of the other great Tang Soo Do martial artists there. So
Right.
I was really impressed with her, and she did an awesome job in the grands against all of us as well. So that was really cool.
You know,
Yeah,
I
we
am a
talked about
fan.
Colin, you know, Colin was one of the ones that we talked about on the show. He ended up winning the grand championship that day as well.
He's been really great as of late as
Yep.
well. But you know
Yes.
what? I'm a fan of like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds fighting as adults. You know,
Yeah.
even 15 if it works. And I'm a fan of seeing the best competitors compete in the best
Right.
possible, you know, stage. That's what I want to see. And that's
Right.
why, like, I really okay, here's a great example. Travis made a reference this week when he's like, you know, I really don't pay attention to juniors because I kind of outside of 16 to 17 because I kind of treat that as like college
Right.
basketball compared to the pros, right?
Right.
Which makes total sense. But I don't even watch college basketball. I pay attention. I do not have time to watch it. And even if I did, I would still just watch more pro basketball. I just would, right? Why would I waste my and I respectively say waste my time watching and I'm going to say basketball, a professional basketball game from Purdue, and they had a pretty good year this year. When I know somewhere Russell Westbrook is playing basketball, what in the world would I be doing watching this when I know somewhere there's a guy out of this world better than everybody on this court, and this year he wasn't even an all-star? Why would I do that, right? So if you look at this, so now, but we've got competitors. We've got kids who are 15, 16, 17 who are able to, talented enough, skilled enough, and are really just better. You know, they're just better right now. Yeah, let them go. So there should be, and I know, I think that did NBL call it the Jack Felton rule? Is that what it was called when you were able, like, all right, if you just like basically destroyed everybody, we'll allow it. Right. Well, how did it go to be able to?
I don't really remember because I don't remember if that was in the NBL rule or if actually the NASCAR rule, because there was two different
not
ones.
NASCAR. NASCAR has never been. You had to hide it from NASCAR.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of where that's why he wasn't allowed to compete for a while. So because of that, it was a WSKF rule. Yeah, and then also it made it that if as long as you turn 18 that year, you can move up. It's the rule in NBL. Okay. Now, but because he moved up in NASCAR early, they pretty much banned him for a year. Like, he couldn't compete for almost a year. So yeah. But anyways, as that goes, a couple other of the fighters that we talk about, Beatrice from Florida, from Team Legend, came up. Her and Lynn had some great fights. All right. Lynn DeGroot, who's from Michigan, they had a couple of awesome fights there. And I know that those are going to be coming out on the Martial Arts Center Network. So big up to those two ladies. They were just going back and forth at it. And power, like hitting hard, right? And really getting intense. So it was fun to see that. Beatrice is someone who is really like going after it, trying to go everywhere she can, fight everywhere she can. And I think this is maybe her second year as an adult. So excited to see that. Also, Jaden Tuitt, her sister Brianna had a great weekend. Jaden won her division. And then, was finally able. I think this was the first time. Maybe it was their second time, but fighting Morgan Plowden. So I know it was a big deal for her to be able to do that. If anytime you make it to the overall grands, it's a big deal. No matter if you're like, oh, I got to face her. Yeah, but you know what? If you have the right attitude, that's a huge thing. You know what? You've got to go against them eventually. Don't even worry about the score. Focus on growing and one point of it at a time.
Can I say something about Morgan real quick?
Yes.
I think because I was this person a little bit, but I was a little bit more of like a I don't want to say a peer, but like we're like the same age. But when Ray was around and I watched guys who were younger than me, like I never beat him, right? So I don't want anybody thinking like Alex is talking like he's beat everybody. I never beat him, right? All right. But when I would see kids who were younger than me, they knew and they were like, all right, I'm going to fight Ray. They knew they're going to lose, all right? They don't know how because they're going after it. But they understood that this moment is a measuring stick, right? And while the likelihood of a rookie, because they're a kid, right, besting the best fighter in the world, possibly ever, right, it's highly unlikely that you're going to do that, right? So I think the only one that really stood a chance, as like maybe a chance as a rookie who could have done it, was going to be Ross Levine when that happened. But even it didn't happen for him as a rookie, right? So, okay, so now I think that's where we're at.
Right.
I think Morgan is more. Oh, I mean, clearly she's there. I remember 10 years ago. 10 years ago, that's how long she was basically the best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how long she's been the best fighter. Right. And I mentioned her name a couple times on the show. I'm training a young girl. She's on Team Straight Up at the time. Her name's Ashley Dahlquist. And we're fighting at the Battle of Chicago in Hammond, Indiana. Let that one sink in. All right. So we're fighting there. And she's like, are they going to let me fight adults? Are they going to let me fight Morgan? She goes, I want to fight her. I want to fight her. And I knew that she knew she probably was not going to win, but she knew that this was a measuring stick. So they ended up not letting her fight. And she was so upset. She's like, no, you already fought juniors. What are we going to do? We can't let you fight in 2 divisions. Like, well, yes, you can, but whatever. Right. But the point is that she knew that this was going to be a major measuring stick. Could I do this? Could I? Because at that point, like, yeah, you're the shit. Like, you beat everybody else. Right. But you don't really know how good you are. Right. Until you're facing the best. Maybe you fight her and you guys, you lose a match. It's like 6-4. And you're like, oh crap. Maybe I could actually do something here. Right. Or maybe you go in there thinking like you just spread everybody. I've seen guys when they were juniors and fighting in the same division as Bailey, spread everybody. And then their next fight gets spreaded by Bailey.
Yeah.
Just didn't understand why. They're like, I don't understand. We're like, yeah, because you're not fighting a normal junior right now. Right? This is not normal, right?
It's true.
So
one thing that was cool was Mina, she had to fight Morgan in the first round of the grands, and they trained together and everything. And most people, when that happens, they're like, oh man, her first opponent, sweet. Like, I just love that. I was like, sweet, like, let's go. Like I was really impressed with her, Mina, this weekend as well. And just her fighting. She's, she had a great AKAs, winning teams with Morgan and doing a great job. So interested to see just, how all of these females do. And again, I think we have a great lineup for WKC USA. On the men's side and on the fighting side,
I can't wait to get into this.
There was some names I want to talk about. Anthony Merricks, all right, at California this year, he told me he was weighing 289 pounds. He is down now to 240. All right.
Jesse, get the heck
Jesse
out.
Told him, I want you at 240 by battle. And he said 240 2 weeks before. So he's probably going to lose another 10 pounds. He says maybe 15 by battle.
Get it, Anthony. Get it.
Killing it. All right. I'm so proud of him, man. He looked like he wanted it. He's he looked like he was moving like the old Ant, but a different mindset, because he's talking. He's like, I see things so differently now. So it's not like I'm going back to where I'm not thinking my mouth. I'm going back. I'm going forward. So it was really cool talking to him. Proud of him. He's just completely changed his health, his eating habits, his training, his strength and conditioning, everything. So it's really cool to see him. And even like Avery knows too. Avery was like, yo, you've been training. This is different than how you were, AKA. This is different. Like you were doing things and reacting differently than you were before. So it's awesome to see. So big ups to Anthony.
Big ups to Anthony. I'm proud of that. I mean, he's always a pretty a constant at the WKC Nationals and the WKC Worlds. But what I like about that is he probably went to maybe an understanding was like, yeah, but it is possible to be, I don't know, flat-footed and sluggish and still win in point fighting. Yes, that's possible. We've even seen guys that are like in really good shape just be flat-footed, like the Tom Roberts fight flat-footed, 100% completely flat, and then we'll just hands down, just walking like he's just mean mugging you from the side, and then we just pick up and kick at you, and you're like, what this is not normal, right? Or you get guys, or and he's a legend, so I'm gonna say his name, and it's okay. You get guys like Brian Ruth, who can just sit in the center of the ring, wait for you to come, pow, get you, and it's one shot, one kill, boom, I got the point. But that's not the most successful way to do things, right? And Anthony shedding it down, apparently looks like everybody's, singing his praises. Like, man, you look great. Look at Connell saying the same thing right now. This is great, man. I'm proud of him.
That's cool. So another fighter, a local fighter from TPK, Calvin Franklin, had a great weekend. Winning his division in WKC, winning the heavyweight side at Great Lakes. Also, Ron Zabala, newest member of Team Revolution. He won his division at both events as well. And these guys just kept in and up against each other, okay? The tournament, I mean, they fought in Grands on Saturday, all right? It was wild, crazy, it got intense, all right? It got really intense. And so
you can't just say intense.
No, like there were some late hits, there was some jaw jacking, there was some where Ron like hit like popped Calvin in the face, like almost dropped him. And then the next one, Calvin kind of hit him a couple of times late. By the end of the fight, Ronald's bleeding. His foot's messed up. He's going at it. I mean,
anybody trash talking?
It was great. Oh, and there even was a kid who ran in with balloons while they're fighting. It was nuts, man. It was crazy, right? Look out for that too, because we got footage of that from 4 different angles. Okay, so it was nuts. And then the next day they did it again, and it goes back and forth, and it was a great fight. It was intense. Cannell had the best seat because he was sitting right there coaching. Sunday, I was right behind him. Sunday, I was right behind him. Saturday, I was on the side filming, so it was crazy.
Well, now here's the question, though: are they in the same division?
No. Calvin is like light heavyweight or something like that. Ron's,
Ronald's like lightweight.
Yeah. So, but at the Great Lakes and MSKC, it's just lightweight, heavyweight, and then 35 plus.
Word. Yeah.
So I mean, there was a lot of good divisions, a lot of fighters, a lot of fights to have. So it was cool, man. One of the worst elbow Dwight, man. I'm praying for him, man. His nose is all jacked up. He blitzed in and just took an elbow straight to the face, and it was really bad. So that was really scary. And it shocked him, man, big time. He was fighting really good too.
I
So
like that kid too, man.
yeah, in most cases it probably would have been him and Ronald for that lightweight division. So was excited to see that fight because that's always a good one. But yeah, Team USA is going to be strong. Great, overall it's going to be a great experience. I think I'm excited. I haven't done this before.
Wait,
the people's
you
elbow.
got to, Andrew's got to speak on this. Speaking of elbow, Michigan witnessed the people's elbow for the first time.
Yeah, so I did that on Friday and Saturday,
Yes.
and then Sunday I did the 16 plus open forms division. Okay, so
You did what?
Yeah, I did the 16 plus open forms division with all the young kids and everything. And so I go and everyone's flipping, and you got Colin and all these guys doing stuff. So what do? I think I did probably the most kicks I've done in a long time. I didn't even count, but I feel like that I did at least.
Form back from 2001.
I did at least 30 kicks on one leg without putting my foot down, right? And the
Stop.
crowd was going nuts. It was fun. And then I finished with the leg swing. I didn't pull a hamstring, so that was good. And then I did, the donkey punch and then I did the elbow. So so lots of crazy stuff, and it was fun, man. Everyone liked it. Everyone liked it.
Elbow one time when you did this.
What did you say?
Didn't you bust up your elbow one time when you did that?
The first time I ever did the elbow, yeah, I was on carpet at a hotel at Pacific Jewel in Oregon, and I still have bone chips that kind of hurt every now and then if I go And then later that year, I slipped on some steps on rain and hit that same elbow, so that elbow's jacked up. But I know how to take it now. Okay. But yeah, overall was a cool, just a cool experience, man. There's so many great people. So much happening. Got to hang out at the Revolution headquarters with everybody. Was a lot of fun. Just meeting great people on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. PKSA again showing up Sunday with a big force. There's so much to talk about. It's crazy.
Well, there's something I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So, you know what's strange is I have, I mean, not for decades. I don't have decades worth of experience with the WKC, but I've got a little bit of experience with the WKC. And I remember mentioning to you on the pod. I was like, Jeff, we got to get you the WKC. You got to have the experience. Right. The WKC experience is really cool. Okay. I did not know, and this is, I want to pat USA on the back. I did not know that there was a ground fighting rule.
That was the other thing that we were going to talk about. Yeah.
I had no clue that was even a rule. And you know why I want to pat everybody on the back? Because if that means that I had no idea, that means nobody took their ass to the ground, right?
Right.
So good, right? I don't want to I'm not patting myself on the back. Maybe I just took shots too much. I don't know. I never really went down, right?
Right.
So I don't really understand that and resonate with moving and falling. I just don't. Maybe I should move more than I do. But falling, I never really understood that. And so
maybe you should try more spin kicks.
Maybe, but maybe at this year, maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
Maybe you shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll have messed up elbows like me.
I'm gonna be 42, right? This is a little different, right? So, I didn't see anybody go down. I mean, in all the years, and again, it's not decades and decades worth of experience. I don't ever remember ground fighting ever. So that means they did a pretty dang good job of staying on their feet.
Yeah.
But I also didn't know that it was even a thing. If somebody would have but I don't think I would have had the opportunity. I don't think anybody ever went down and who was in front of me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, how much ground fighting was there, Jeff?
Not too much, but in the female divisions, I saw a lot. There was a lot of two legs going and then one getting kicked up and falling. That was
let's
kind of
be
what
honest.
happened a lot.
Those are young females.
Yeah. I didn't see really. I didn't get to watch the senior females. No, but
And the reason why they will do that more than others is because they are physically able to clash legs, push them up, and then still somehow score. To physically
I didn't understand I thought it was I didn't know that the rule was you could still. I thought it was like the NBL rule where you could only hit to the body with hands or feet, and you couldn't punch to the head. I think in NBL you could do a focus punch or something like that, but I think you could just touch to the head and not get a penalty. But if you touch to the head in old school NBL or even like with the hand, it was a penalty point automatically the other way. If you kicked or even try to like act like you were going to kick the head, that could have been close to being like DQ'd. But, like I was telling you a couple weeks ago in Texas, USKA stomps to the head were legal, so
that's so effed up.
So that was a little different. Overall, I mean, I like the rules. I think the WKC rules are a good mix of like NASCA and NBL, as well as some WACO. The only thing, at least it's consistent, but I'm not a huge fan of the win by two. But I tell you what, it makes all the fights really exciting. And it makes it where it's okay not having double or 2 rounds for every round because of it being that way. So
I'm not a fan of win by two. I don't like it. But I don't think I've ever really made it a point where it's like I was that upset about it. Right.
Yeah, right.
And maybe it's just because maybe I wasn't as emotionally invested as I could have, should have been.
Right.
But I really don't think win by two is the correct way to do things. If you're gonna have rounds, if you're gonna have time, why do we also have a point value system? That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Tennis has a point value system. They don't have a time limit.
I'm getting some rule things over here on this. So like the no releases in creative weapons is different, but I like it. I just kind of thought that at least you could still do like wrist rolls or finger rolls, kind of like the ATA freestyle rule, which I think that's a cool one where as long as it doesn't come off of your body, right? You're not tossing it in the air. I like that rule because again, it should be something to do with the weapon. I thought that would be cool, but it was a good division. I don't think it's crazy at all. You already have extreme and you have musical for that. So,
I think what Andrew's saying is pretty accurate.
Yeah, it is. Oh, here's the deal. No, traditional weapons. Traditional weapons, we got a legit traditional weapons division, okay? You could do those, NASCA style forms, but you had to use, you weren't allowed to use tapered bows, okay? It was a straight, thick one. So it's pretty cool. So you got a good combination of that. All of us in the top 4 did legit forms, I believe. Maybe there was one sword form, but most of us, did that. So I'm excited to see like classical style or, traditional forms, weapons back in that, and then the same thing in MSKC, like you weren't allowed to do tapered weapons in that. So I like that. I won that the next day as well. All right.
Before the show ends,
yes,
let's chat about Great Lakes Pro-Am.
Yeah.
So
we talked a little bit about it, but yeah.
Yeah, we talked a little bit. I want to mention one thing. So the fighting there is great. I mean, it's Michigan.
Yeah.
They're gonna be very good. But the people sometimes I feel like people forget how close Canada is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're 8 hours away, right?
No.
Unfortunately,
there was a Canadian tournament the same weekend,
which is also craziness. But I mean, it's good because now we got more. People get upset when there's event on the same day as other events. More events means more competition, which means more competitors.
Yeah.
We just embrace it, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
But the junior black belt fighting at MSKC events are some of the best I've seen in a very long time. I'm not kidding you. I live 3 hours away. Is that what Andrew's saying?
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
No.
There was, I think it was 2014. I was at the Great Lakes Pro-Am, right? And I'm sitting there, and I remember watching it, going, I'm watching the junior black belt fighting, going, this is the best tournament of junior black belt fighters I've seen all year. And that whole year, that Great Lakes Pro-Am junior black belt point fighting, it was the best I'd seen that entire year, right? From top to bottom. And I just picked a random, I mean, I don't want to say random, but that was just one tournament that they had from that year. And that's just that year.
Right.
That was almost 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, that MSKC circuit of tournaments, those junior black belt fighters, they are something special. I dig it.
Really cool. It was really cool. All right, last little bit. Amazing weekend. Shout out to the Plowdens, the whole family. Shout out to
team effort. Yeah,
everyone, to the Gorhams. They were their whole team, everyone there. It was awesome. It was cool to talk to them because they are ITF background as well. So we all did, similar forms and wearing our ITF uniforms during the weekend. So it was cool. Just getting love and support from them. Getting to see Joe Hartley, man. He showed up over the weekend. He's had, a rough week or two. So was excited to be able to see him. First time I've actually met him. And same thing with Gene. That's first time I actually ever met Gene or seen him in person. So it was really cool to have the main gang together. Last little thing. Korean Challenge is coming up in 2 weeks. Next week, we're probably going to talk a lot more and dive into it as the training and everything goes towards it. Everyone, list the form, not name game back, that you want to see. All right. If you know any. All right. But I want to let you know, too, I went ahead and booked my ticket for the AAU Nationals for Taekwondo. So
when is that?
So that's 2 weeks. It's pretty much the week right after
after battle?
No, after US Open, sorry. And
okay.
A week. So I'm going down to Fort Lauderdale. I went and just signed up. It's in the middle week, so I'm flying down on the 4th, competing on the 5th, flying back on the 6th, right? And yeah, that day I'm going to do 4 divisions. Now again, so I'm going to do the Tang Soo Do division, the WT division, the ITF division, and the Open division, which is where all of them go against each other, right? It's going to be exciting because here's the deal. It's all head-to-head, every round. And so
how many forms do you end up doing at the end of the weekend? I could end
up doing 40 forms maybe. I don't know,
Stop.
Dude. It's crazy, but I know that one of the adult divisions had 70 competitors in it. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that. That's so everything is leading to that for me. Me doing 5 divisions on each day this weekend was the next step to get ready for the battle, which was Korean Challenge, which was all the other divisions I do, all the grands, everything, another 10 to 15 forms division in battle for me, or weekend battle could be that, right? And then it goes to AAU Nationals. So it's really exciting to me to take that step to go into something different. So, yeah, man, it's going to be exciting. We got lots of new things, lots of announcements coming up, but
we got a great one coming up next week. I think we got a guest that we got to have on, Jeff. You and I will talk about that. Stay tuned, Jeff. We're going to do another Patreon episode coming up right now. So, guys, if you don't already subscribe to the Patreon, go ahead and do that right now.
Yes, sir.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Have a great weekend.